Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Kumar. I'm actually an ophthalmologist, but I've decided to come and do this as a volunteer work, even though it's not in the scope of my ophthalmology field. But I just felt the needing to do something about this crisis in this time. So I asked the Lord, what should I do during the first MCO? And I felt that the need to give out food packages was important during that time. But one instance was very special, and this is where I met the Deputy Minister of Wilayah Persekutuan, Datuk Sri Dr. Edmund Shantaram. And in Selayang, they had a need. There were 1,000 people quarantined in a PPR flat, and they asked whether we could supply food for these 1,000 people. So we got we got all those in the food bank involved, and we actually packed a lorry with 1,000 packs of food, and we sent it to these PPR flats. And this was my first contact with the minister, the Deputy Minister of Wilayah Persekutuan, which played a very important role in what's going on today. And then when we came on to the second MCO, that was during this year, the Lord spoke to me about Isaiah 54 verse 2, which is enlarge your tent, widen the curtains of your habitation, lengthen and spare not, and strengthen your stakes. So I was praying about this whole verse that the Lord had given me, and of course also meditating on what was preached in church during that time. It was about chasing the lion, about impact now. And so I asked the Lord, what is it that you want me to do? And just out of the blue, about 6 months down the line, someone sent me a video of a church in India that converted their church into a quarantine center. So I brought this idea up to Pastor Chris, and I said, Pastor, if you are thinking of doing something like this, I'm in it. Let me know what I can do to help. And so I drew up a proposal, and I put it towards Pastor Chris and the elders of the church, and they then directed me to Crest. And that is how Crest got involved with the whole project of PKRCS. And once I drew up the proposal, I sent it to this Dr. Sri Edmund Shantaram, the Minister of Wilayah Persekutuan, and he was very instrumental in taking this proposal and giving it to the right person. And I thank God that he was able to lead us and guide us, and together with Crest, we came up with the whole proposal, and that is how this whole hotel came into existence. Because many of my doctor friends and many of the people out there were afraid to come into this project as volunteers because of COVID. They were afraid of being infected with COVID. So I said to the Lord, when we do this, you have to be in total control, and not a single person should be infected with COVID. None of us have been infected with COVID. So I want to give God the glory and honor God for this, for God is able to keep His word. We have impacted many of the B40 communities, especially the ones, our neighbors. We have impacted them, and some of them have given very good testimonies. And when they come here, they don't want to go anywhere else, because they feel that the service here and the care given here is of great value. And we have doctors on call 24 hours, nurses calling them up twice a day to find out how they are. So they get all this. Okay, a good hospital care is given in this setup, even though it's a volunteer setup. And we have impacted quite a few people around the community, in the sense that every single person who is admitted here will prevent 10 others outside from getting COVID. And not only that, the 10 others preventing spread to other people and therefore developing other clusters, we have prevented that. So as of today, we have seen about 554 patients walking in, being quarantined and going off. So if you take 554, we have prevented 5,000 people from getting COVID. And not only that, we have prevented clusters from elsewhere from developing. So I think that is one of a great impact that this has done, and how God is leading us to step up at a time like this, in a time such as this, to fight against COVID. And not only that, we have also managed to set up smaller quarantine centers in Plaza Sungai Besi, in Pudu, and also in Kajang, thereby preventing clusters among the migrant population. And as we stepped up to serve these people in this area, we also started doing vaccination. We provided transport for people to get vaccinated in Bukit Jalil. We also did screening for COVID in Plaza Sungai Besi and Pudu areas, and thereby keeping a track on this migrant population and preventing clusters from developing. So I think, I think the church has stepped up, DUMC as such, and other churches who have been involved in this PKRCS have stepped up in a time like this to show that our God is a great God. So we have become living epistles for people to read rather than just look at the Bible. They look at us and they know Christ exists in our lives.